Hello everyone, back again with an 8-week update on my Grizzla Pads. So this is a 2022 Inmotion V11 with medium-sized Grizzla Pads, also referred to as, I believe, classic. The medium size in black. It's not a true black, it's more like an anthracite, but close enough. So if you saw my first video, the backing plate was oversized, about 1.5 inches in every direction larger, because I didn't know what type of pad I would wind up with, how much I wanted to move them, so on and so forth. But after using these for weeks, up to eight weeks now, probably a good 16 hours worth of use, I've got them pretty much dialed in. And I knew where the pads wanted to live, so I cut down the plate to minimize it. Kept the lower extension all the way down, which is probably the best thing that I did. I'll tell you why. For those of you who are familiar with the V11, this center rail, which is a plastic shroud underneath here, there's a piece of it here. This protrudes outward from the front and left of the wheel hub, and this moves up and down. That's your suspension travel. So what happens is your foot rides on this part here, allowing your foot to toe inward or outward for that matter. I never liked that. So when I came up with the backing plate, I knew I wanted to use something rigid, 1/8 inch aluminum. I wanted to extend my plate all the way down so that it would act like a rail, a guide rail for my shoe. I left this part out front here a bit. Turn the camera a little bit so that it fits my shoe and shoe size, 10.5, just perfect the way that it is. So it butts here and here perfectly. So my foot has a reference and it's always parallel and true to the wheel. You know, there's no toe in going on or toe out. When you go over some bumps, your foot gets shifted. I always put my foot inward and I know it's aligned in a forward position, which I really like, me personally. The pads are working out amazingly well. I have no interest in trying any other type of pad. This is not a promotion to the Grizzla Pads. I just happen to, they click for me. The depth is beautiful. The density is beautiful, very comfortable. I have them locked in so that I can comfortably jump the wheel, no problem. I can comfortably exit the wheel really quick without getting stuck. Braking is good. The brake pad in the rear is a little bit smaller than the front pad, but nothing negative to report on that. It works. These are little mini air chamber pads that I did initially because I felt I needed them, because the edge of this plate, I could feel it, but that's when it was bigger, up taller. Now that it's smaller, I don't really need these, but since I cut them and applied them, I just figured I'd keep them. With my shin pads / knee guards, I don't need these at all. It does make it a little softer and cushier, so I just leave them in place. This plate is actually mounted with the 2 original screws that hold this shroud on the V11. So you would remove these 2 screws, one up here, and this whole side panel slides up and off. I utilized those bolts. Of course, now that the plate is on top of the shroud, these bolts are different. They're not the factory bolts. They're a little longer, countersunk, so there's no rubbing on the shoe. And I just used double-sided, a premium 3M double-sided tape, just a small section right here. Plenty of grab and bite, super rigid, no flex whatsoever. And I mounted the tape, the double-sided tape, right on the chrome-plated Inmotion label that's underneath here. That's the surface I used for the double-sided tape, and that's plenty. That's adequate. I think that's about it. Looks pretty sweet. Front view. I was going to black out the edges of the aluminum, but I decided to kind of leave them that way. I don't mind the accent of the aluminum color at all. Don't know what you guys think. Feel free to chime in with your opinion. If you have any questions, curious questions, don't hesitate to ask. Still haven't figured out what's going on with the centering of my wheel. Don't know if I posted, if you've seen my post on that. I have yet to tear it down, but I believe, yeah, see, it's out of center. It's not bad. It gets worse, comes and goes. It varies. I think it has a connection to the air suspension chambers or the rails. It varies. So I think it's attributed to the suspension rails. I'll figure it out eventually. Now that the colder months coming, going into winter here in New England, I'll probably tear it down since I won't be able to use it. I didn't want to tear it down during peak season because I didn't want to miss out on riding. But I'll keep you up to date on that. Thanks for watching. Ciao.